for this evening's event, Jordan Garwood!
What's up, everybody? How you doing? Happy New Year! Yeah? How many of you are sick of hearing that? I feel like we got like one more day where we can say that before people start punching us in the face. Sucks. Anybody go out of town for the holidays? Round of applause. Awesome. I went to Chicago. I left LA and I went to Chicago, which was awful. Every year me and my family, we go and visit my grandma. That's our thing. We go visit my grandparents. And a couple years ago, we just found out my grandma got diagnosed with mild schizophrenia. Which is awful, right? But she's 75 years old. You usually get diagnosed when you're around 25. Between 15 and 25 years old. Which means she's always had it. And no one in my family was surprised. They're like, yeah, we knew she was crazy. We saw this coming. But here's the fucked up part. When I was a kid, every summer, my mom would drop me off at my grandma's house and leave me with her alone. And I don't know if you know this, but a 7-year-old and someone with schizophrenia think an awful lot alike. One summer, they left me there for 3 years. Not as like my mom was in the Navy. She left, she didn't want to deal with the emotional thing. Anyway. But she left me there, and my grandma was pretty crazy. I remember one night I was going to bed, and as she was leaving, I was like, hey, Grandma, before you leave, can you answer this question for me? She goes, yeah, sure, what is it? I go, are ghosts real? I swear to God, you guys, she like opens the door back up, looks me right dead in the eye and goes, 100%. Shuts the door and ruins my childhood forever. It was terrifying. And I used to have I think the most like traumatic experience for me was I was probably about 6 years old and Child's Play came out and I had one of those My Buddy dolls. Anybody have one of those? Yeah, it was My Buddy until that movie came out and then it was Your Worst Enemy. So as soon as I saw the preview to this movie, I was like, holy shit, I gotta get rid of this thing. I threw it in the trash can, thinking I'll never see it again. But my grandma was like, oh, he must have accidentally threw it in the trash can. I come home from school one day, My Buddy is sitting in the living room chair with a sign on it that says, Jordan, why did you throw me away? Written in blood. Alright, the blood part's not true, that's just how I remember it. But it was terrifying. But I think the most traumatic experience of all is, I grew up in the 90s back when AIDS was still popular. You guys remember this? And there was a PSA on TV, and the PSA said, even kids could have AIDS too. I was like, what? And I look back at my grandma, of all people, and I go, Grandma, do I have AIDS? I shit you not, she looks at me and goes, I don't know, do you? Your mom was pretty promiscuous in high school. Like, what the fuck? I remember going to school, first I asked the teacher, I'm like, hey, can I go to the nurse? She's like, why do you need to go nurse? I think I have AIDS. The teacher's like, go to the nurse. Do that. So I go to the nurse's office and I'm like, hey, can I get tested for AIDS? And she's like, why do you think you have AIDS? And I'm like, well, my grandma was like, my mom was Prometheus or something, and I need to get tested. It's pretty awful, man. I hate it. But, I didn't have AIDS, so that's good. I'm sitting in front of you telling jokes about my grandma, who would not appreciate this right now. I've been dating online recently. Anybody do that? Anybody online dating? Anybody on an online date tonight? I wouldn't admit it either. But what's weird is I'll go on these dates and at the end of the night, it's happened a couple times now, girls will be like, when I first saw you, I thought you were a douchebag. Like, what? Do I look like it's bothered me, right? So I went home and asked my roommate, I go, hey man, do you think I look like a douchebag? And he's like, come to think of it, you kind of do resemble the villain in every single Lifetime movie. He's like, you look like the type of guy that would root for you a chick at a bar and then have sex with her. But I'm not, you guys. You're safe. I'm on unemployment right now, which kind of sucks. Anybody on unemployment? Good answer. I shouldn't be here. I'm on unemployment, and I found that like being on unemployment gives me a lot of spare time, so now I smoke weed in my spare time instead of looking for a job. I'm sorry. But when I started smoking weed, I started finding out that I was solving problems that I didn't even know I ever had. Right? Like one night I was watching National Geographic, and this show came on about mountain lions. And it started talking, like, it was like telling you like what you should do in case you encounter a mountain. Does anybody know what you should do in case you encounter a mountain lion? Anybody? Throw shit right, you're supposed to be aggressive, that's what they say. You're supposed to man up to this giant cat that wants to eat you and chase it. Like, that's what you're really supposed to do. But in my high brain, I was like, why doesn't he just have a laser pen? It's a cat, right? Have you ever seen a cat chase the laser? One time we taught our cats how to turn off the light switch. But I was watching this show. I ate an edible on accident, which I don't know if you ever had an edible, but no one can ever prepare you for this. And I was watching Ghost Hunters. Yeah, 3 episodes in, I thought I was watching Scooby-Doo. Right? I was like, where's the dog? This is bizarre. That show's a piece of shit too. And let me tell you why. It's been on for 10 years. They've never caught a ghost. You guys, you're an idiot if you still watch this show. To me, that's like watching Cops with no criminals. Right? You're just up late one night watching an episode, an hour goes by. The dude looks back at the cameraman, he's like, I guess it was just a quiet night. Let's go get some fucking donuts and call it quits. Alright, you guys, that's my time. I'm Jordan Garwood. Thanks a lot.